I'm Tony Bannon, the Ron and Donna Fielding Director at George Eastman House. I'm with Jeff Dunas at Chautauqua. Jeff, we're grateful to you for being with us here to do workshops and give your presence. Jeff Dunas is one of the people in the field of photography who represents that entire arena. For Jeff Dunas has been a photographer of many stripes and many kinds of disciplines within the medium of photography. Also a publisher, an educator, and now the founding director of the Palm Springs Photographic Workshop and Festival that takes place every spring in Palm Springs, California. Jeff, your commitment to the field of photography is across the board. What in the world is it that so attracts you to do so much about photography? What's the magnetism of photography anyway?
I asked myself the same question. It seems that there's just a very wide playing field in the world of photography, and I just wanted to play, I guess, on the field. I kind of describe myself as a polyglot. I'm somebody that just is fascinated to explore different photographic disciplines, and I wouldn't have been happy to just stay in one vein for the entire duration of whatever my career will have been, because I really love street pictures. I really love portrait work. I really love the idea of creating documentary bodies of work. Nudes are a subject that has totally absorbed me for the last 30 years. And to just do one of those would be, I would think, I feel that I hadn't really gotten my boots on the ground. As far as educating and as far as the Palm Springs Photo Festival, it simply came to me that I was in perhaps a unique position in that I was able to do this. I had the potential to be able to create this kind of an event. Because of the many experiences that I've had, be that publishing or creating books or doing the work that I've done in different countries. And it just seemed to me that I could, and that it was something that would benefit the community of professional photographers.
Well, the festival has grown remarkably now. Fifth year coming, is that right? Sixth year coming, and the attendance has grown from what to what?
I think in the first year we had about 90 people came, and they were terribly moved by the experience at a level that I hadn't anticipated, and that really convinced me to sort of redouble the efforts and actually do the thing in the way that I had initially envisioned it. Because the first year was kind of a trial balloon where we didn't have any sponsorship, we didn't encourage any press, we didn't really want to do that. We just basically put the word out and wanted to see what was going to happen and who would answer the call. And by the second year, I think we were over 200 people. And at this point, this last festival, we had pushing 650 people. It did sort of broaden and it did stretch its wings. But it did, by the third year, it really had the program it had the program that I had imagined that it could have. It had both the seminars, it had the symposiums, it had workshops, a very sophisticated workshop program, and the reviews that we do, portfolio reviews, and the evening presentations, which I adore doing. So, yeah, it kind of found its legs by 2008, and now it's full swing.
And the dates of the festival are?
This year, coming up in 2011, the dates will be the 27th of March through the 1st of April.
And do you have you signed on any photographers or others to present so far?
We have. We are going to announce the entire roster on November 1st on our website, which is PalmSpringsPhotoFestival.com. I can tell you that Eugene Richards will be there, and then I have some very nice surprises.
And of course, Ross Whitaker will be there as well.
And Tony Bannon.
There you have it. Photography is a way of life for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it actually is a way of life. Explain that to my wife. Photography truly is a way of life. It's being able to make a living at something you love doing. It's a hobby for me. I don't like to think of it as I'm grinding out 8 hours a day. I'm just sailing through this really amazing arena that I love being involved with. So I guess if I'm not taking pictures, I'm generally either working on photographs or putting together a book or working on the festival. And in some way or another, it's 12, 14 hours a day. That and my book collection. So I go to sleep at night reading a book of photography perhaps, and wake up in the morning and I'm at it again. So yeah, I found a way to avoid getting a real job.
Why would you collect photographic books?
I wasn't fortunate enough to have a real pool of capital in the 70s when you could buy photographs for very little money and build a really interesting collection. And I'm a bit of an obsessive personality in that when I collect something, I really spend a lot of time and energy in it, and I become a little bit fixated on it. But the books, the monographs of the photographers whose work so moved me and influenced me were affordable. And in the 70s, I started collecting these books, and I wasn't in any particular hurry to establish a meaningful collection. I was just accumulating books of the works of photographers that I loved, and found myself in the mid-90s with 900 books in my library. And then I began to realize that it didn't make sense, that it didn't really add up to something in a way that would have been, had I understood that earlier on, I would have focused that collection more. So I divested myself of a few hundred of them and started looking at specific books. And it was the right time, because by early 2000, I think 2002, a book was published called The 101 Books, which was basically a photo book that attracted literary collectors to the world of photography monographs, and it sent the prices of these monographs sky high. And I had fortunately at that point built really the collection that I have, and now I just acquire books on a case by case basis and generally those published before 2000.
Now I know you have several books of your own work that are being considered by publishers. One, a book that summarizes the nudes that you have done through your career, and another, a book of street scenes or scenes that exemplify in a quirky and sometimes funny way what we're like as Americans. Would you speak a little of that book?
Well, the initial title for that book was The Unscripted Theater of Public Places. It's kind of a mouthful, but it did describe really the way I felt about the work. Basically, it's interesting to observe the humans in the zoo, and I really kind of feel like that's the job that I undertake when I'm out on the road with my camera here. I'm looking at the way people there's people do things in their day-to-day life that they're totally unaware of, that if you're able to glean 125th of a second from that, the juxtaposition of the elements, the people, what they're doing, how they're doing it, can be pictures that we all relate to, because we're all human beings and there's a certain human drama that happens, but it's also comedy. And I've been adept at being able to capture those images for whatever reason. I'm fortunate, I think, because it's a body work that I love doing. I really love going out and just working. I like to take a day, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I'm going to end up, but I know that all along the way there are photographs. And Willie Ronas once told me, he said, there are days when you come back without any photographs, but it's not because there weren't any photographs, it's because you weren't capable of seeing. And it was an important lesson to me, because when you get tuned in, when you dial in, and you're out there looking, the pictures seem to just unroll one after another before you, and that's the most exciting experience. So street pictures is something that I enjoy as much as anything else that I've ever done. And the book, hopefully, will be able to be published perhaps in 2011. But the working title now is going to be Welcome to My World, because it almost makes more sense.
Well, thank you very much for sharing a look into your world this morning, and thank you for being with us here in Chautauqua.
This was a great experience. Thank you for the invitation.